Welcome into another edition of Prep Picks. Heather Williams along Steve Wilmoth, VSPN Tri-Cities, TriCitiesSports.com. And then there were two. Final two, same final two as there were 1 year ago, Union and Cove. We're going to break both of them down, and I guess we will go bigger to smaller. So, unless you want to do it the other way.
I'm good. I just have to scroll my screen.
Right. So let's talk about the Class 2 state semifinal with Union.
Now, the only two remaining unbeaten teams in all of Virginia high school football, and they will meet Saturday at Bullitt Park, Glenvar and Union. These two teams are unbeaten. Neither's really had a close game. I mean, Glenvar's closest game was a 24-6 season-ending win over Floyd County. Union's closest game was last week against Ridgeview in that 21-14 win. So they've been dominating throughout the season. I think Glenvar's outscored its opposition this year 564-50.
Is that good?
That's pretty good.
All right.
And meanwhile, Union is about the same. It's about 540-118. They have been dominating. Union's got a big task this week defensively, and they're facing a future Division I quarterback, probably signed this week with Charlotte. His name is Brody Dayot. I think it's Dawyot. He set the all-time Virginia high school passing touchdowns record 5 weeks ago with 123. 5 weeks ago, he had 163 total touchdowns in his career. That's 22 behind Ronald Curry, the former great Hampton star, and he was 15 behind Curry on the single season list of 61. That was 5 weeks ago. You'd think I'd be able to find those updated stats.
Oh.
Maybe they're out there somewhere. I'm just not smart enough to find them. But what I know is this 6'5", 220-pound quarterback that Union has to deal with is pretty tough.
Yeah, and the size
Yeah.
is something that they're not used to seeing.
Absolutely. So Union's got to keep him off the field, and you're going to do that with your offense. Your offensive line that averaged 6'2.5", 288 pounds. You know, we love to read those guys off, don't we? Jacob Horton, Braden Chandler, Talent Wharton, Chris May, and Caleb Stacy. They've been the guys responsible for all the production from Cam Bostic and Keith Chandler, who's about 215 himself. They've got to stay on the field. Even, you know, if you don't score, you got to at least move the chains. You can't give that quarterback a short field, or it's going to be a long day for Union. I still think Glenvar is going to win the football game. They've just been dominating people all year long. But I think Union can make a game of it. It'll be interesting to see this little cat and mouse game with Union's ball control offense and against this quarterback.
Yeah, you mentioned the ball control, and what's been really important in this late season push for Union is Keith Chandler started the season kind of slow. They were really relying pretty heavily on Cam Bostic, but now that both of them are able to run and mix it up because they're a little bit different running style. Bostic goes more to the outside and is kind of a little bit more of he's not fast, but a little bit more of the speed option where Chandler's just going to run you over. He's a huge bowling ball, just goes straight at you, but a little bit of a quick burst too if he needs it. I think that's been really important for them in this playoff run. They have not seen anything like this Glenvar team. I think it's going to be a really tough road. I think last week they answered all the questions of how they'll react emotionally, with everything else going on exteriorly, they've done it out 2 weeks in a row. So I think that the remaining coaches have done a really good job of keeping these kids focused on football and on the mission that they have. Like, that hasn't changed for them, and whatever happened with that with their former coach, that doesn't have anything to do with these kids. These kids have worked hard. They've done a great job, and the coaching staff has done a good job of keeping them on task. I'm gonna go with Union. I like the fairy tale story here. I love a good underdog story, and I just think that these guys are singularly focused. And as you mentioned, if that defense could just get a few stops, and I think if they can control the game, the key is going to be Bostic and Chandler running the ball, long drives, huge chunks of clock. If they can do that, I think they can get the win. So I'm going to go with Union.
I hope you're right.
All right.
Okay.
I mean, look at my record. I'm not right. I'm not right very often, but I just like a good Cinderella story, as it were. The other team still alive is Cove in the Class 1 semifinals. They are taking on Carroll County. No. Grayson County. Grayson County. Got my county.
In a game that I think most people thought was going to be Eastside versus Georgia Witt.
Yes, I would say most people did. Aren't these both 3 seeds?
Yes, both 3 seeds. And in fact, the other side of the bracket is a 3 seed and a 5 seed. So Class 1 is wide open here for the state championship. Rye Cove last week, 4 interceptions against Eastside. Revenge game number 2. This would be revenge game number 3 because Grayson County knocked them out, coming from behind from 15 points down last year in this same semifinal matchup. Grayson County last week had lost previously to George Witt 42-15. They ran for 511 yards in a 28-26 win. So it's another, I think it's the revenge tour, if you will, here for Rye Cove. I like what they've done. I'm not surprised. In fact, I picked Rye Cove to beat Eastside last week, but I said by 7. I did not say by 20. That was kind of a surprise. Grayson County and Rye Cove have combined for 7 losses on the year. It's kind of rare to get to the end of the season with that amount of losses. And I think Grayson County was 2-4 at one point, has won 7 straight. Started with a forfeit from Galix, then beat Giles 14-6. The last 5 weeks, they've dominated the opposition. But I'm going with Rye Cove on this one. I hate it can't be at the Cove. We've got these wild division, different classification rules in VHSL. Apparently, Union can play at home, but Rye Cove can't. So we've got to play at Gate City. Either way, Scott County is going to come out and support the Eagles, and I like Rye Cove to advance to the state finals.
I mean, you do know in the VHSL, every classification gets to make up their own rules.
You taught me that.
Yes. So, but I mean, Gate City is pretty close to Rye Cove, so I think they'll still get a great crowd. The Rye Cove rowdies are always rowdy. They're always fired up. I watched a good bit of that East Side Rye Cove game on the internet, and it was actually going the way that you predicted. It was about a 7-point game until late in the game. Eastside started getting desperate, started chucking the ball up, and every time they threw the ball, it found the Rye Cove defender's hand and not an Eastside hand. So it got out of hand very quickly, but they're probably much closer than what the final score showed, and I think it was pretty much what we thought. But Rye Cove has really impressed me, right? This was supposed to be Eastside's year. And Rye Cove said, well, no, not so fast. We're not dead yet. And they've taken the motivation and turned that into wins. So Rye Cove, I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to pick against you because I know for a fact I have talked in the past to Rye Cove football players that they watch this show and they probably talked quite a bit about how I picked against them last week. So congratulations. Your motivation is here. I want you to win, but I am going to pick against you and we'll see if that works for you.
I hope you're wrong on that one.
I hope you're right on that one. But I just think that they are not as good as they were last year. I mean, they're phenomenal, and the record and where they are in the playoffs would suggest that they're as good, but they did lose some huge pieces from last year. So it's been a great run for them, but I think Gary Collier is a wizard. I mean, what he has done with that program is phenomenal, but I just don't know that they have the defense to slow down the running game that you talked about. And so I think that's the biggest concern for me. But again, I'm doing your a favor, Rye Cove. I'm picking against you. Use it as you may.
There you go.
We put the bow last week on Tennessee. Any thoughts on that or anything else on your mind?
Well, we didn't get anybody to the state championship down in Chattanooga. All those games of this weekend, there's some fabulous matchups down there.
Has not been good to this area. We haven't had anyone in the state championship down there since the first year they played down there.
That's true. I don't think Chattanooga is going to be the ultimate destination very much longer from what I'm hearing. But I think they're building a new stadium in Nashville that I think some people are interested in playing in. We'll see if that stadium in Nashville is interested in hosting these games.
Right.
But for now, it's Chattanooga, and there's some great matchups down there if you get a chance to check in on those.
Yeah, a lot of traditional. All the big boys are there.
All the big boys are there. If you haven't watched Chattanooga Baylor and David Gabriel George, the junior running back from Baylor, you will want to do that. That may be the best high school football player this state has ever seen.
Yeah, I checked out a little bit of their game against McCallie in the regular season because I worked down in Chattanooga, and I mean that team and him specifically is unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Now he's Canadian. Everybody's like, well, he's an in-state guy. We got to get him at Tennessee. Well, he's Canadian. He's not an in-country guy. Okay.
So he's a little bit like Xavier Galadez at ETSU, who also went to the Baylor school.
Exactly.
They got a little Canadian pipeline down there, I guess.
They do. Oh, they've got a pipeline from that everywhere down there. I mean, they've got a Manning down there now.
Yes, they do.
Baylor as well.
They do.
Nashville Christian and Division II single A, Jared Curtis, a top senior quarterback in the country playing on Thursday, flipped his commitment yesterday from Georgia to Vanderbilt.
Oh, well,
Georgia to Vanderbilt.
what winning will do.
That will what? So those are some great games, great matchups, and we're going to have some great matchups across Southwest Virginia. Hopefully, we're back here next week picking state championship games.
Yeah.
1 and 2. That's what we want.
Yeah, this could potentially be our final prep picks. It
I hope
hopefully
not.
will not. And I hope both teams, but at least one win so we can talk about it one more time. It's been a really fascinating season for me. In a year where it very much looked like there were the haves and the have-nots. There were a few surprises. Cove is one of them. You know, you looked at Class 1 and you thought, well, Chilhowie and Eastside were the class of Class 1, Region D, and Cove knocked them off both to get to the state semifinals. So that was a really nice surprise to see the run that they made. And I'm kind of concerned, just on a broader scope, about the state of football in Upper East Tennessee right now. Because I mentioned we haven't had a team in the state championship since they moved to Chattanooga, and especially in Class 4. And I realize Alcoa is now in Class 4 and Anderson County's emerged, but there was a time where the state championship absolutely ran through Region 1. Like they did it was either going to be it was either I mean Anderson County included in that, but Anderson County, Greenville, and Elizabethton. It's not really the case anymore. And, you know, even some of the smaller schools like Hampton has been there. They had a great season and then just fell apart in the playoffs. So I'm hoping, there are some phenomenal coaches in Upper East Tennessee. I'm hoping, it ebbs and flows and talent and, kids' interest in that kind of stuff, school sizes, that all of that ebbs and flows. But I want to see Upper East Tennessee back in the mix. I have lots of friends in Nashville, lots of friends in Chattanooga. I'm tired of them having all the fun down at the state tournament.
Yeah, I go to some meetings in Nashville. I don't get to participate very much sometimes because, we don't have what they have down there. And there's a lot of advantages I know in the mid-state and the size and everything down there with some schools and everything and some private schools that are doing some stuff and things like that. And we're kind of landlocked up here in Northeast Tennessee as well. So those folks don't get to see us as much. But we talked about it first rounds of the TLSAA playoff. How many teams we lost from up here in just that first round? I mean, we can't get to Chattanooga unless we correct that first round to begin with. That's the first order of business is getting past that. So it's tough. I mean, you could maybe sell people that Sevier County is in Northeast Tennessee. You can't sell me that, but some people might try to sell me that, but I won't buy it. But they're a Knoxville area team, and good luck to them too, by the way, going for back-to-back state champions. But I'm like you, but football season, we should still be able to talk about Northeast Tennessee for longer than we're being able to.
Right. And not just Greenville. I mean, obviously Greenville is phenomenal. And Knoxville keeps trying to steal them for us. I mean, they act like they're one of our schools. I had to giggle. It was maybe
well, they've annexed Elizabethton when Elizabethton was winning state championships too.
2 or 3 years ago, because it was for basketball. One of the TV stations down there did a big social media push, and they were like, basketball in the state runs through what's the area code there? The six
in Knoxville, 865.
Yeah, it was like basketball in the state runs through the 865, and it had all the state champions. It had Greenville on there, and I retweeted it and said, "For those of you that don't know, Greenville's actually in the 423."
Yeah.
So
leave it to Heather to fix that.
I mean, they're ours.
There
We can't have them.
Yes, no.
I really enjoy covering that program, and I know they're very successful, and everybody wants a piece of success. But sorry, they're ours, and they're holding the flag.
To get to where we want our teams to be has already begun.
Right. Oh, for sure.
It's already begun.
I mean,
so it starts now.
These premier teams in the area, the Elizabethans, the Unicoi counties, the day after they lost, next year began.
Yes.
And the kids motivate that. I mean, you talk to a lot of these kids, that lost last year, or whatever stage they were when the playoffs started, and they're like, the road to the playoffs started the next day, that night. Like, we were hungry, we wanted. And I mean, that's one of the things I do love about this part of the country is the love and the commitment to high school football is real.
No doubt. That's the fun part about it, is to get out on Friday nights and see the passion that every community has for its school. That's what
only
high
we're
school
playing
sports
this week on
supposed to
Friday
be.
night.
Yes. We'll get there. I'm confident we'll get there. We will get to Chattanooga, or we'll get to the state tournament. or state finals, I should say.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah, right.
there are definitely programs that are a threat to get there every
Yeah.
year, and they didn't this year, but there are definitely, we mentioned them. I mean, I think that specifically Unicoi County, now that Alcoa's out, has
Hmm.
um they've got some other there's some other teams in there that are good, but having Alcoa not in your division definitely
Right.
clears some running room. But of course, in like Greenville and Elizabeth and then Hampton and Happy Valley, all of the normal
Oh, right.
players. Happy Valley was young this year. They have a potential to be really good next year. So we'll see. It'll be fun. Uh, if this is the last prep picks, which we're no wood here. Oh
We
man.
hope it's not.
We hope it's not. Thank you very much for doing this year, and check out his website. I mean, he and his team are everywhere covering high school sports. I'm a little bit jealous of all the help and all the high school sports that they're able to cover. So check it out. It's tricitysports.com, and then join me and Josh Widman on Saturday for all of your highlights from the state semifinals in Virginia.